I just clicked on custom.
Welcome to High Level. We're an all-in-one platform.
All right, all right. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are checking in from. Welcome to High Levels 5-Day Challenge. My name is Paulson Thomas, and here within the next couple of minutes, I'm going to check all of our platforms. I know we're live. Our production team, our community management team is here with me, helping me kind of field the calls here. I'm seeing a few people watching this live. And by the way, we have intentionally turned off the Zoom entry. So we're not going to let people into the Zoom room like we used to, since we have to go public in all channels. So you want to definitely watch this in our Facebook page, our 5-day challenge group itself. So it's a private group that we built just for the 5-day challenge program. And I'm excited to get this started because this whole program has been in the works for quite some time, and we've had a lot of cool success and a lot of stories behind it. And what I want to do is make sure I can record here and have that good for later just in case. Okay, awesome. Looks like that's happening. So if you're watching on our page right now, we're getting ready to start with day two. And I have so many cool things to share with all of you. I'm excited. Tell me what city you're checking in from. Yesterday, we saw a ton of folks from the East Coast, the West Coast. There's certainly a lot of people from Europe, Australia, some of the African countries as well, which is really cool to see. I'm going to go ahead and check our main pages here. Let me let me see where y'all from. I would love to meet you all, and I'm seeing a few comments here. Just so you know, I'm looking at the comments on our main public page. Again, I see a few people trying to jump into the Zoom call. We have intentionally turned that off so we could make sure all the streamings are good. Okay, awesome. Debbie, hey Debbie. Debbie's from New Jersey. Mark, hey Mark Cantrell, it's good seeing you. I know we met during the 3-day workshop, which is a different program we have. He's from Cushing. Al from NYC. I love New York. I go there quite often. Let's see, Ryan from Scottsdale, Karen from Louisiana, John from Virginia. Let's see, David, Long Beach. Someone from Cambodia, Liam, thank you for being here. Art from Texas. We've got James from Wexford, Patrick from Montreal, Jose from Miami. Oh man, we got a ton of folks in here today. Let's see, Christian from West Palm Beach, Dodgers from London, UK, Gear from London. Thanks for staying up so late. I wish we could do these more often at international friendly times. Hey, Ricardo from Puerto Rico, Kevin from Minneapolis, Ottawa in the house. Let's see, someone from Iowa, Texas, Pittsburgh. Okay, we got a ton of people in here. I definitely want you to continue typing down what city you are checking in from, because one of the cool things that we saw with the 5-day challenge is a lot of communities developed out of the 5-day challenge where people were meeting for lunches, dinners, talking about AI and automations and digital marketer stuff, online entrepreneurship stuff. So it's really cool to see the community get together by themselves without high level involvement in their local areas. And we're starting to see a lot of pop-up groups, a lot of local community groups, and we get pictures from them and videos and all kinds of cool things. So without any further ado, let's get started. Give me a one in the comments if you attended yesterday. And what I would love to do is just do a quick recap. And today's meant to be a Q&A day. But I think it's important that we do a quick recap for those folks that didn't get to join us yesterday. So I'll do that here shortly. A ton of ones. Okay, type in a one if you were here yesterday. Type in a two if you wanted to be here, but you couldn't make it for whatever reason, but today is your first day. So type in a two if today is your first day. And I've got a lot of cool things to share with you all. And by the way, in case if you missed yesterday, go to our YouTube channel, our Facebook page, or jump into the 5 day challenge private Facebook group and watch the replays there. And one of the cool things about the private Facebook group is that you get to watch all the sessions that we have done for the 5 day challenge up until today. So, like, we run this essentially bi-weekly, once every 2 weeks, typically, give and take, depending on events and things like that. And a lot of people go back and watch those with the Q&As and things like that as we kind of clarify a ton of different things. Okay, I see a few twos here. Okay. Awesome. And I will also love to know who you are. Help me understand what industry you're in. Tell me what industry you're already in or thinking about or considering as far as like a niche is concerned. And one of the things that I shared about the 5 day challenge and our strategy is that you don't have to niche down, but we do want to have a local focus as much as we can in order to launch. But I would love to know what industry some of you are thinking. Let's see, we've got Gear. He's interested in e-commerce. Let's see what other industries are popping up today. Eduardo says healthcare, medical marketing. Yeah, healthcare is really interesting. Um, I had my dental agency for many years before I went into automotive. And then obviously the marketplace behind High Level, which is a white label agency. Back when we had services, we don't anymore. But yeah, healthcare is a very strong industry. Law firms, someone's interested in law firms. Jose says lead gen. Well, lead gen is not a industry, right? It's a service that we would provide in an industry. But Jose, I would love to know what industry you want to do lead gen for. Nathan's doing salons. Alan sings wellness. Yeah, Ricardo says solar. Yeah, let's see. Local, then niching into insurance, swimming, aquatics, water polo. That's really interesting. Yeah. When you decide between saturated and unsaturated industries, you would definitely want to use different strategies. Let's see, home builders, remodelers, ceramic coating, local tourism. Let's see, real estate, obviously a really popular one inside high level medical devices. Cool. Yeah. Someone says not sure yet. That's what I love. You don't need to decide on an industry just yet. And one of the cool things about the 5 day challenge is that we will get going without an industry. Okay, cool. I see a few of your comments that are coming in. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and get started with today's content, which is really designed to be a Q&A day for those of you that are watching. And let me go ahead and share my screen. Let's see. There it is. Okay, cool. I think we are good to go. So right now it's about 7 minutes past the hour. Okay, cool. We're gonna keep this going for about 45 minutes and stop the call in about 45 minutes. So that's about the time that I recommend you put away so we can get as much as we can get done and answer as many questions as I possibly can. And I'm gonna rapid fire, okay? So first things first, if you are watching this 5 day challenge and you don't have a high level account, because you're registered for the 5 day challenge or you are an attendee, we are right now offering a 30-day trial to any high level account, which is really cool because we normally don't do that. We usually do a 14-day trial. So if you do a 30-day trial, you have plenty of time to get set up and move forward. And one of the other cool things is, I don't know if you know this, we take a lot of pride in customer service and customer success and making sure people are onboarded well and very efficiently. And because of that, I think sometime last year, 2023, we put together live Zoom pods where there's hundreds and hundreds of live Zoom rooms across high level that any customer, someone who doesn't even have an account, could just simply jump in and talk to a live agent with whatever questions you have. So in order for you to jump into an experience like that and talk to a live agent, even if you don't have an account, you can go to speakwith.us/success. We call it our success room pods. And they're, like I said, it's basically a live Zoom, and you'll get queued up and diverted into whichever room you need to go into based on your questioning or whatever trouble you may have, or whatever it is. You can definitely get help talking to a live agent, so you don't have to go through standard 1-800 numbers and ticketing and things like that. We take a lot of pride in our live Zooms. So go there. And again, if you don't have a high level account, this is specifically for brand new users. Okay. If you don't have an account, jump into a 30-day trial. Really, really cool offer that's happening right now with the 5-day challenge while we're live. Okay, next item. Because of the 5-day challenge, here are all the freebies that you get with our 5-day challenge program. You get the agency snapshot, which is basically a snapshot that's built for your sales and marketing and prospecting and all of that. Really cool. Then we have the client fulfillment snapshot. That's basically a snapshot our team built out for you to be able to fulfill your clients once you onboard them. There's a, challenge workbook. There's the Facebook private community dedicated just for challenge participants. So if you're starting out, regardless of where you are in your journey, you can jump in with, I think there's like 3 or 4,000 people in that group any given time. Now, one thing I'll warn you, the Facebook group, we manage it in a pretty interesting way. We give people access for 30 days. And that access will expire after 30 days. And then you get moved to our official community. So you want to maximize the 30 days you have in our private Facebook group for the 5-day challenge and watch as much content as you need, grab as many collaterals and see the strategies. And by the way, in the Facebook group, we talk about multiple different types of strategies in addition to missed call text back and other Trojan horses that we talk about. So it's really cool interacting with the rest of the community that way that is specifically dedicated to the 5-day challenge. Number 5, you get the online course. So this entire component right now we're live, but there is a online course that you can watch all 5 days, similar to how I did yesterday. Yesterday we went through day 1 through 5 and rapid fired literally all 5 days worth of content. So that way today, tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday we can do a continuous long form Q&A that's relevant. So just so you know, you can go through it at your own pace with the online course. Number 6, we have a prospecting funnel and landing page built out, white label onboarding videos, sales collaterals like scripts, demos, sales trackers, a bunch of cool things. And number 12, I think is one of the coolest things is our advertising team put together Facebook ads that are proven with copy, creatives, and everything that you can simply download and launch if you want to go to market a whole lot faster than launching your organic strategies. But really cool things that you get as part of the 5-day challenge. So give me a 1 in the chat if you are ready for me to recap yesterday. I just went through really just rapid firing, really just some housekeeping rules and making sure you all understand that you get these bonuses and all of that. And those of you that are saying, I cannot get the bonuses, what you want to do is log into the online course at university.gohighlevel.com, and you want to use the same email that you use to sign up for it, and then go to the resources section and you will see that. Matter of fact, let me log in real quick. Do you all see my, let's see, do you all see my high level membership area here? Let me check the streaming. Yeah, looks like we can see it there. So when you log in as a student, this is where you will land after you log in. And if you go to if you scroll down to the very bottom of our membership area for this course, very bottom, very, very bottom, you'll see this section called 5-day challenge collaterals. That's where all these things that I had just listed are housed. So you can simply go there and grab all these items for yourself. By the way, yeah, there's Chamber of Commerce, BNI brochures, and things like that. So all these items are inside the course in the resources area, just FYI. Okay, so give me a 1 in the chat if you are ready for me to just quickly summarize yesterday's content, which was literally day 1 through 5. So I'm gonna try to rapid fire in the shortest amount of time so we can get to Q&A, okay? So bear with me here. All right. Um, all right, cool. Awesome. I'm seeing the comments here. All right. So when it comes to software, the number one mistake you can make as far as launching your software, company offers, whatever, is leading with multiple features. That's a big mistake that we've seen a lot of SaaSpreneurs make. And we teach this stuff all day long to thousands and thousands of digital marketers and marketing professionals across the world. And we've seen the pattern and the power of launching with a single offer. So last night I was going through my notes and I was like, you know what, today, if I want to recap, I need to recap in a simple way. So I decided to make 4 rules, okay? 4 simple rules that you kind of should abide by to allow your launch to be as simple as possible. If you go beyond the walls of these rules, you'll probably find yourself overworking, over planning, in a way, over launching too many things at once. So here are my 4 rules that I want you to pay attention to. Rule number 1, okay? Everybody type in rule number 1 and type in single offer. I want everyone to type in single offer in wherever page group, wherever you are watching it from. And I mentioned the idea of missed call text back. And in reality, like I told you yesterday, I'm not married to missed call text back. I don't care about it that much. But I love missed call text back because the local businesses love it. And that's where the demand is when it comes to fielding phone calls. So the whole idea of the 5-day challenge is for us to help you get your first paying customer. And in order for us to do that, we're going to go with rule number 1 to launch to the market, which is leading with one single offer, which is the missed call text back. What is the missed call text back? It's a feature inside High Level that you can take, repackage, and sell to local businesses that allow them to field missed calls with automations responding to the missed call. Very simple. Now, the second part of rule number 1 is expanding within 72 hours. So let's say you close the deal on Wednesday. Before it, 72 hours go by, you want to schedule an onboarding. And during that onboarding, you're going to expand them and base it on the theme of phone calls that you're an expert for and say, hey, listen, you've got phone calls coming in from your website, your GMB, your mobile, platforms, reviews, all these different places. Can I just go ahead and integrate and set up all the pages that could possibly field a phone call? So we go from the traditional phone system to a digital phone system thought process, right? And because of that, you're able to expand from a single offer to 4 core pillars that we talked about yesterday, which is the mobile app, web chat, reviews, and what's the last one, guys and gals? Let's see who remembers the 4 pillars we talked about. Type in the chat. Let me see how many of you all were paying attention. I like doing a little pop quiz once in a while. What were the 4 core pillars that we talked about yesterday? I'm looking at the Facebook page here. Let's see. My comments are populating a little slow, so let me go ahead and go there and watch it. There you go. Yeah, GMB, right? Google My Business. So the idea is to lean on the theme of phone calls, and we're going to basically integrate with any area of the business that deals with phone calls. So now guess what? You're using the Trojan horse method of leading with one offer and then expanding from there after you've started a relationship. So that's rule number 1. Single offer movement, expand into the core pillars that we talked about. to get the maximum amount of usage as a software solution. That's what you want. You're not focused on making revenue as a software company. You're focused on getting your users to log into the platform and use it as quick as you can, because once they experience the systems, then they will pay you forever, right? That's the mentality of a software company versus a marketing company. Marketing companies focus on upfront revenue quite often and then back end fulfillment. So you have to pivot the way you think about it. So the four core things are GMB, web chat, reputation, and mobile app. Those four things, if you can get your prospects or customers to adopt those four things, you are going to win, my friends. You will win. Okay. Rule number two, start a beta around customers and prospects with your warm network, right? So the idea and the positioning of the offer is, hey, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm starting a software company in your industry. And I know that you are a reputable brand, a reputable person, because we've had some kind of interaction. As I launch this, can I get your feedback? And that's the positioning. And because you're dealing with your first couple of customers with your warm audience, and these are people you know, like, and trust, you don't have to wait on the sales cycle that's so long, right? This allows you to go to market. And here's what I'd recommend. Just be completely honest with them and tell them you're starting out. You don't have enough proof in the pudding, but what you're trying to do is build that social proof. And by the way, when I get to market, I'm going to be charging thousands of dollars. So instead of doing that, I want to charge you a minimalistic price, which is $297 a month. And that's the position that I recommend. If they're not able to pay you for whatever reason, don't waste your time. Okay. Your time is way more valuable as a marketer. And I don't recommend you doing a free trial, right? Now, you may be wondering, Paul said, well, high level, you guys offer a free trial. Why can't I offer a free trial? Well, high level has 500 plus features. We have 30 different customer avatars that we are catering to. But for you as a provider in a local business, I think, especially when you're leading with only one single offer, it doesn't take much for a prospect to really get used to that one feature. And therefore, you don't need a big trial or even a free trial for that matter. So, really, essentially, you're doing a paid trial at the minimum, conditionally with a 7-day money back guarantee. But ultimately, we know that we're building everything up for them. They're not self-managing anything else, right? This is not a do-it-yourself offer. This is a done-for-you offer that's low ticket, ready to go, right? And you're automating all of it, so you don't have a lot of labor hours behind it, which is a really cool hybrid for you to get to market. So rule number three is have a setup fee plus a recurring pricing. So our suggestion is that you charge all your customers 297 one time. That's a one-time fee, and then you do a 297 monthly recurring fee, and that happens as two different line items in the beginning of the month. So subscription, when you do subscription, most subscriptions are billed in the beginning of usage, and then let's say halfway through they cancel, or one third of the way they cancel for whatever reason, our systems allow, if you're on the SaaS mode plan, our system automatically prorates all of that and handles all the billing. The real secret sauce for our, SaaS plan is billing and rebilling. That's one of the biggest challenges software companies go through. So we automated that entire system for you. And that's really the whole point of SaaS. You don't need that. But as you get started, you need to understand the business model of the pricing and the inspiration behind the pricing. So 297 one time, 297 monthly recurring fee. That's rule number three. Is everybody with me so far? Okay, cool. Number four, launch products instead of services due to churn rates. So if you, and that's without heavy customization. Now, I'll tell you this. You can do the hard thing by doing a marketing service, learning Facebook ads, Google ads, YouTube ads, all these different things. But we know at high level from a lot of the data, the churn rate for a traditional standard agency is around 70 plus percent, 72% or something crazy like that. And that churn happens within the first 90 days. The problem with that is no matter how good of a service you provide as a service provider, as a marketing agency of any kind or marketer, they tend to cancel whether you provide white glove service or not, whether you provide results or not, because we're third parties at the end of the day. They rather not let somebody go internally in order to save money versus letting go of vendors. So we're typically on the chopping block. And the other component about services is you're dependent on human talent, human capital, human hours, culture, all these different things that go into fulfillment that's required with a team, a people team. Where SaaS and this whole productized service comes into place, once you set up a client on missed call text back and move them into the four core offer, typically they don't churn out. So with SaaS offering, product oriented offers inside high level, we see the range of 5 to 7% churn or lower. What that means is this: once you build that book of business, you typically can keep it as healthy as possible and have it for many years to come versus agency services, right? So my rule number four for you, Paulson's rule number four for you is launch to products instead of services. And that's because of churn rate. That's because of churn rate we've seen in the marketing world heavily. And that's why people go crazy about this whole high level SaaS thing. And you see the SaaSpreneur, momentum take place everywhere. Almost everybody is launching a SaaS inside high level because they know the book of business that they can build out. Okay. So these are the four rules that you have to follow based on yesterday's content. Make sure you go back and watch yesterday's content. I went through day 1 through 5 and everything you need to know, essentially a shorter version of what we recorded inside the online course. Either way, you have everything you need to understand and know from yesterday's content. Today, I just did a recap. So, couple of pop quizzes for you before we go into the comments and I start fielding questions. Okay. Are we charging for the expansion? So what I mean by that is, like, let's say you land a client with a single offer, missed call, text back, you get them on an onboarding within 72 hours. Now you're about to present the core four features. Pop quiz number, I guess this is number two now, right? Pop quiz number two is that, are we charging for the additional features that we're turning on? For those of you that watched um, 5 Day Challenge in the past, maybe this is the second time you're watching it, feel free to comment, okay? Let me go through the answers here. Let's see some of the answers. Does it make sense for us to charge? Ricardo says no. Ricardo Mendoza, you are absolutely right. We are not going to charge for the scale up. So let's go through a quick review here one more time. This is from day one. If you go through any of the content and you'll see this, to go from the gateway offer to the core offer, that's simply you just overloading with a good service. So literally what I would do is bring them on board and say, hey, listen, I just want to make sure I turn on the phone call fielding and the phone call systems on your website. Make sure your reputation's in place, your GMB, anywhere you have a phone number. And by the way, I'm not going to charge you any extra dollars for this. I just want to make sure all phone calls are fielded from all parts of the business. Now, if you take on that approach, guess what? Now you're selling 4 to 5 core features for the 297. One of the biggest mistakes and misunderstandings people have about the Trojan horse strategy is that they feel like they're charging 297 for one feature, missed call text back. We're not charging 297 for missed call text back. We're charging 297 for the entire high level system that's narrowed down into the lane for a local business, which is really the core offer, right? The GMB, reviews, reputation management, the mobile app, and the missed call text back. Of course, you have 400 other features that you can turn on anytime. As you get really good with the industry that you're serving, you may find out, hey, I've got to turn on team calendars because they're excited about it. Oh, hey, I'm working with coaches and consultants, and they're excited about funnels. Like, so you can see different features that's suitable for your industries and turn those things on and add it as part of your core offer. But that's where you, as a marketer, your expertise comes in. Okay. So for us to transition into the core offer, we're not charging them any extra. Pop quiz number, pop quiz number three. Okay. Should you have an expansion offer if you have never offered marketing services before? Let's say you're someone that's watching right here on this challenge and you've never offered Facebook ad services, Google ad services, TikTok ads, influencer marketing, PR, whatever, consulting, whatever your high ticket services potentially could be. If you are someone that's never provided any of those, as you launch your SaaS, would it make sense for you to launch with a high ticket service? Sharon is right. Sharon and Alan, Sharon Maroney. She says, no, of course not. Why would we complicate this thing? We are not going to launch with an expansion service and take on more headaches. Because guess what? Let's say you take on a consulting client at $5,000 a month, which is pretty minimal, pretty average and standard in the local business space. But if you've never provided a service like that, you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself to now learn the service, then go into it and fulfill at a high level. No pun intended. You have to then learn the talent and the skill that go behind it, right? So what do you get out of that? You get more churn anyway. So the expansion offers, no matter what, it's at the 70% churn mark, where the gateway core and the downsell, because those are software driven, they're at lower churn rate. So it makes a whole lot more sense to not launch with expansion services. Here's what I'll tell you. I recommend you go selling 10 more software deals for 500 bucks a month than going and selling one consulting deal, because you're selling hours, you're selling your time, you're selling your talent, which is fine and dandy for a couple of deals here and there that you really can handle, but it's not a scalable model for you to go sell based on human capital. So that's pop quiz number three, and it looks like we've got a lot of great answers. Okay, cool. So let's do this. I am going to start the Q&A here, and I'm going to stop sharing. Hopefully you're getting a lot of nuggets out of this. Okay, awesome. Jordan, I think we are good with the streaming. So we have a system here where I don't know if you guys have heard of Restream.io. Pretty cool software. We're using it to stream into literally all channels and all platforms. And wherever you are, I can see your comments. So what I'm going to do is go through and answer as many questions as possible. And if you can limit to one or two questions, that'll be helpful. And I want you to type in your questions, okay? I want to type in your questions, and I'm going to go through and answer as many as I can, okay? So let's see. I'm going to go to the very top, beginning of beginning of the streaming. And so right now it is 30 minutes in. We'll spend another 30 minutes going through the Q&A here, okay? All right, cool. All right, let's see. I'm looking at the questions here. Someone says money back guarantee. Can someone explain money back guarantee? All right, cool. Let's do that as our first question. Should you offer a money back guarantee, and what does that look like? What's the point of it? Let's just really unpack that. Money back guarantee is something that you can use for closing a prospect that really hasn't built a relationship with you. And typically most people don't take on the offer. They don't take advantage of the money back guarantee because they usually like the service. But it's a mechanism and a tool that a lot of marketers use just to push them over the fence. And you don't have to offer it. You can turn it off if you don't want to. People do a 14-day money back guarantee. Now, the money back guarantee, because you have a setup fee and a recurring charge, you have to be careful of how that's positioned. It's either going to be all or nothing, okay? Nobody likes a partial guarantee that's partially refunded. So if you're going to offer a money back guarantee, it's typically for the setup as well as the monthly recurring. Now, because this is a software offer, you can do a money back guarantee in a limited amount of time. So maybe like 7 days is what I recommend for whatever reason, and or whatever setup time. So let's say it takes you 5 days to set up. That's around the time I would offer a money back guarantee because once I set it up, I don't want to offer any kind of guarantees because we guarantee that the automations are going to work. Like there's no issue. We're not dependent on any algorithms, right? So compared to like Facebook ad services, we're not dependent on any systems outside of our capability to build automations. And therefore, there's really not a need for a money back guarantee. It's built in for someone who don't feel that strong in sales. And maybe you're talking also to a prospect that's not very familiar with you. But remember, the goal for the 5 day challenge is to get you to your first paying customer. And I recommend you dealing and talking to people that are in your network and you're positioning it as if you're launching a new software company. It's a beta. Things will go wrong. I don't have all the answers, but I would love to take this journey on with you. It should be your positioning and be very transparent with your prospects. So if you do all of that, the need for the guarantee is not there. It's just there as a suggestion if you feel comfortable doing it or want to do it. It's not. It's definitely not a need. Okay. Let's see. Jose says we have to set up an A2P for each client. So let's talk about A2P real quick. For those of you that are unfamiliar, A2P is a regulatory compliance that came out back in September for all platforms, not just high level included, all platforms and all digital entrepreneurs. So if you're texting from a business to a person, that includes local businesses, you have to get registered with carriers that says, yes, I'm not a scammer, I'm a real company. Here are my details. And we see A2P now getting approved within a couple of days. It doesn't take too long like it used to. But previous challenge rounds of folks, the classes, what they're doing, what I've observed is what they're doing is they're charging more than 297 for the setup fee. So they'll charge 500 or 700 or $1,000 because guess what? All these local businesses now have to get registered on A2P with or without you. So you coming into their world and saying, hey, listen, this is the compliance thing that you got to deal with, regardless of me or not. I can set this up for you. And now it's turned into a revenue opportunity for a lot of marketers from what we've seen from the previous challenge. So people are charging $1,000 for the setup instead of the 297, and it'll go through a couple of rounds sometimes depending on the industry. There's a lot of stipulations around how quickly you can get approved. If you don't have details in there like you're supposed to fill out, you'll get kicked back and things like that. So it's a little tedious, but a lot of marketers are right now charging the local businesses a lot more than what they would have for the setup, and they're using it as a revenue opportunity. Now, you want to definitely tell them there's no guarantee that you will get approved, right? Similar to like a lawyer, right? There's no guarantee in the results, but you want to make them aware and educate them. So if you're a marketer coming into the relationship and educating them for them to use text messages properly, you're going to position yourself as an expert. So I think that's really cool. Now, meanwhile, while you're pending and waiting for approval or whatever, that's going to take a couple of days. You can always get a toll-free number, which toll-free numbers don't fall under the same stipulation or guidelines from what I understand. So a lot of marketers inside high level, they just launch the client the same day with the toll-free number until the actual numbers are approved and yada 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 and they get going. So hopefully that gives you some ideas of how to deal with A2P. And A2P is really just a US based thing, okay? That's because all the carriers inside the US got together and said, hey, let's do something about spam. And what they're doing is basically having real businesses register and create a huge directory of registered businesses. And so they can avoid and remove spammers and pirates and things like that. So it actually works in favor of a good marketer. So I recommend all of you leaning into it and moving forward with it, making extra money on it. And it's something local businesses need regardless. If they're going to text a person, they need to get approved and have A2P compliance checked off in today's world. Okay, cool. Let's see. The next question, am I purchasing a new number for my client? Yes. So what you're going to do from a tech standpoint is purchase a number inside High Level. So when you log into High Level, you can buy a number and you're going to assign it to the existing number that they already have. So what you're doing is creating a tracking number for on behalf of your customers and using the tracking number to field all the missed calls from all areas. And therefore, the biggest objection that you're going to find with missed call text back is like, well, Boston, I don't want to change my number. And that's pretty common. But remember, the Trojan horse offer is to get us to land inside the business. That's it. So if there's really resistant of changing numbers, move into the core features and get them on other things instead of just the missed call text back. But in reality, the best thing I would recommend is educating the customer that in 2024 you have to track activities of a phone number rather than not tracking any of it. Sometimes if you lean towards the GMB side and say, hey, you don't even have GMB set up, can I go ahead and set that up so you can capture all your organic leads and we'll use our tracking number. Um, Typically businesses go down that route and say, okay. Now, golden tip for you in the 5-day challenge. Okay, golden tip, avoid businesses that's been in business for too long. Right? I When it comes to missed call text back, I've observed from far that most people have really, really good success with new businesses that's been in the business for maybe a year or two. If you go to businesses that's been established for like 5 to 10 years, typically they're not open to change, right? So changing a phone number or adding another number because they have a bunch of print cards and business cards and all of that. They're typically a little resistant, but that's really the biggest objection you will find with missed call text back. Okay, let's see. Next round of questions here. Let's see. Uh, Addie says, does this intro offer work with online businesses getting traffic from social media, parentheses, coaches, influencers? So Addie, so here's the thing. I don't think missed call text back will work with the business that don't have high volume of phone calls, which is why I think local businesses are a lot more suitable for this. Now, Addie, there are several other Trojan horses that are working really well right now for coaches and influencers, which are membership areas. I don't know if you know this, we launched communities. So inside High Level, you can build a community now, similar to like a Facebook group assigned to a coach's program and discussion boards and all of that. It's really cool. So that's really popular. Mobile app is really popular among coaches and consultants who have a ton of students that want to watch content from their phones while they're traveling and things like that. So, Addie, I would say with coaches and consultants, you don't want to change your Trojan horse offer, but the principle of what I taught of Trojan horse, it works. You may have to change it for missed call text back. For missed call text back to work, they have to have some sort of a volume of phone calls. Otherwise, they don't have any missed calls coming in or enough inbound to be able to, build a system to field all that traffic. It's not enough traffic. Okay, let's see. Can they keep their own phone number? Yes, they're keeping their phone number. All you're doing is buying a tracking number for the purposes of setting up all the automations. Remember, businesses that have landlines, they're not going to be able to text because they don't have the two-way system. So they would have to replace a number anyway. And if they already have an existing number, you're basically letting them keep it. You're buying the tracking number and forwarding that to the other number. So now when that happens, all activities, conversations, messages, everything gets pulled into our conversational AI system. Or if you turn on, well, yeah, if you turn on AI, if you don't, it just gets populated into our conversations inbox where all emails, voicemails, phone calls, comments, like literally all responses that are happening inside a business gets consolidated into one place, which is why you want the business owners to log in to the mobile app and monitor what's happening in addition to the automations. Okay. So yeah, they do get to keep their numbers. Okay. Someone says, "Hey, I'm running 70 products in supplement business and would love to lead with one at a time through funnels on high level, but then we'll send them to a whole shop after they bought the offer. Do I need a Shopify API into GHL?" Well, Shopify integrations inside GHL already exist, so you can build a store inside of high level with a few clicks of your button, and you may want to go through that and just check that out. But if you want a lot of and that's a pretty new feature for us. So we're in the early stages of expanding into e-commerce as well. So if you have feedback on how that's built out and you want us to rebuild something or add any features, just let us know. Give us like a week. We'll go develop it. That's kind of our style. If you don't know that about high level, I'll tell you, we take a lot of pride in building features based on your demand as a customer. So you tell us what you want us to build out, and we'll, as long as it's relevance, right? And if it's, other marketers love it as well, and there you can go to ideas.gohighlevel.com, and usually things get built out in a few weeks. And one of the cool things about high level. So therefore, high level is built by you, and we're your development arm. And then once the feature is built, it's available to almost everybody. And then it just keeps this whole high level operating system just keeps getting bigger and bigger because of that principle of how we follow a customer centric, style for development. So yeah, let us know if you go through our Shopify stores or our ecom stores, and if you want us to improve something, we'll go ahead and build that out. Okay. Um, Someone says, how can we offer our services on different language? Example, Spanish at the same time as English and depending on locations. Yeah. So right now we're in the process of internationalizing high level into multiple languages. So Spanish, French, German, I think Arabic, a couple of other languages are all in play right now for us to basically allow you to just turn on a language for each sub account. So once that is out. I think we're in beta for it. So there's a group of people that are going through it and kind of mapping out different language styles and things like that. So 2024, our goal is to internationalize as much as we can. So hopefully that's going to get you excited. And by the way, we have WhatsApp, right? So we're one of the only platforms that have WhatsApp. It took us like 4 years to build that relationship with Facebook. And I don't know if you know this, we are Facebook's preferred CRM system as well. So if you go into Facebook and start to build out any kind of advertising and you want some kind of follow-up, high level is the first option that they show you inside the ads manager. A little flex, a little flex once in a while here and there. Don't hurt nobody. But just wanted to tell you that we're working with Facebook quite often, WhatsApp, in order to internationalize quite well. So just let us know. Okay, let's see. Other questions here. Let me see. MRR, monthly recurring revenue. Yes. Um, if you notice, most of these companies, massive companies, even car manufacturers, are going into subscriptions. Like you got to pay $9 nowadays for heated seats. Isn't that ridiculous, y'all? But the point of that lesson there is that every company, all roads lead to subscriptions. Whether you're a coach, consultant, services, hardware manufacturers, whatever, if you observe the world of business, all roads lead to SaaS, which is why I get really excited about this whole high level SaaS thing. Because as a marketer, you all are the experts. You all have the talent to go build out. High level is like a Lego land. You can go build out your Lego configurations with colors and shapes and sizes that are suitable for your businesses that you're serving and keep 100% of the revenue, by the way. You can build, a 5, 10,000 client software system built on top of high level. Your fee does not change, but just 297. Okay, I lied. You need the 497 plan to do SaaS that high. But 497 essentially is your cost to build a software company. It's much better than building, raising capital and putting together development to go handle all of that. Okay. Chris says, thanks, Paulson. You mentioned warm market, warm network, but what are some other prospecting strategies we can employ as aside from what you've already stated? So, Chris, I'll tell you this. My favorite strategy is paid ads. I think going paid ads is the holy grail of building businesses. So if you feel like your offer is strong enough and the market's going to want it, I'm a huge advocate of just going paid ads. Drop, a couple of $1,000s and run it and see what kind of leads you bring in, see if you can close a couple of deals. And that's my mentality. Now, if you want to go the conservative route, I've done a 3-day workshop recently with Joel Kaplan, Frank Kern, Billy G, Jason Wardrop, Andy Audet, Adam Earhart, Ali Bloyd. We're getting ready to do another one here shortly with Adrian Brambilla. And in all those workshops, our main theme that we teach is prospecting and sales. So I would say grab one of the workshops and implement something from it. Give me a one in the chat if you have attended one of my 3-day workshop, and love to just get your feedback. If you have loved those, we usually get good feedback about it, and it's free education. Just jump into High Level's YouTube channel. You can watch, um, you know, ton of those, and the education in there are worth thousands and thousands of dollars, in my personal opinion, after building 3 agencies and going through hundreds and hundreds of coaching programs, being part of every inner circle that you can think of, in the world of ad agency marketing world. And there's a lot of strategies there. I taught how to launch 10,000 emails a day. We taught how to do AI prospecting. We taught how to do webinars at scale. We taught Ali Blood and I, we did a paid ads workshop. So yeah, I would say go through any one of those workshops and just implement one of the strategies from one of the workshops. And I promise you, 2024 will be different because of that. Okay, someone's asking, can the LC number through GHL be used to talk? Can they receive a call like a regular phone through this? Yes, 100%. Yes. LC is lead connector, which is our gray label branding. So on top of high level, we have a gray label brand called Lead Connector, which is like if you log into like Zapier and all these platforms, you'll see high level labeled as Lead Connector. So that way, if you were to, API 2 or 3 different things together and you want to keep high level silent, which we're totally fine with you white labeling us anytime, you can use the Lead Connector brand, to create all the APIs and all of that. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. I'm waiting for my phone here. Got my phone here. Waiting for it to populate the next round of questions. Okay. Yeah, the workshops are all inside of our YouTube channel, and it's also in our Facebook groups. By the way, if you jump into our 30-day trial that we're providing for the 5-day challenge, you get access to a 5-day challenge Facebook group. Plus, because you have high level, you get access to our official Facebook group, which has like 60,000 marketers. And as a company, I think we're at 80,000 marketers. So about 30,000 people don't have Facebook apparently. But either way, we have a really cool community that you can jump into, interact, and like everybody, it's very different than most communities I've been part of. And I'm saying that selfishly, but I truly feel and think that the high levelers are very, very collaborative. And even you see that energy in our masterminds. By the way, we're about to have a mastermind in like 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So come to it in Dallas. I think there's like 19 tickets left. For those of you that want to meet in person, we spent 3 days teaching everything. But that same energy you see across the ecosystem. It's a very unique thing that we see in the marketing world. Okay. Um, For those of you that Gear says, hey, I'm still waiting for the bonuses from the joint GHL Billie Jean 3-day workshop. So I uploaded all of the collaterals, and you can grab all the collaterals from the workshops at gohighlevel.com/GHL resources, which is a Google Drive that we built for customers. Okay, so all of you have access to it. Go in there and you can grab all of that. Okay, let's see. What is a gray label? So there is white label, gray label, and I believe black label. But typically, commonly, white label means you're hiding one brand and putting another brand on top of it. Gray label means there are two brands that are coinciding together or, essentially pretending as another. And black label is when you're just essentially open with the original label there is. But it's just the way branding is positioned. All it means is if you want to hide the GHL logos and branding, you can use our Lead Connector brand, and you'll find Lead Connector that you can download everywhere. So let's say, for example, you want your customers to download, um, you don't want them to download high level, but maybe a different brand. You can use Lead Connector, and it's essentially is high level as well. And you can set it up exactly. We've just white labeled ourselves, so you can use one of our brands if you don't have the means to white label right out of the gate. Okay, cool. Let's see, 5 more minutes here before we stop the Q&A. I'm seeing a couple of questions here. So yeah, so this format, so people are asking, hey, what about the content for day 1 through 5? So this format of 5-day challenge, what I did to simplify this whole experience for you is yesterday on Monday, I went through and taught day 1 through 5, all content, all lessons that you need to know to go to market. I taught all of it. Today is Tuesday, so what we did is Q&A, and tomorrow we'll do a Q&A, and Thursday and Friday we'll continue doing this type of Q&A. And it's a little repetitive, but we just want to engage with you, understand where you are, and then what we want you to do is sign up for a trial and just jump into our Facebook group. And if you are part of our Facebook group, we interact in there and we go through and answer questions um, quite often as well. So let me go ahead and put up the link for the 30-day trial that's part of this workshop. Okay. So if you don't have a high level account, this is your opportunity to get a 30-day trial versus our standard 14-day trial. And that's to any account. You can access the 97, the 297, or the 497. You get a 30-day trial. And you can even talk to someone on a Zoom pod at speakwith.us/success and go from there. So I'm seeing a few more questions here. I'm going to go through and answer those in some of our commentary. Okay. So here's the homework that I want you to do as you're just kind of watching the 5-day challenge. My goal for you, again, remember, my goal for all of you that are watching this is to help you get your first paying customer. So you have two options. Watch yesterday's replay, wherever page you can find yesterday's content, Facebook page, our private group, YouTube channel, Instagram. We've streamed across all groups, I believe. So watch yesterday's content where I've taught day 1 through 5. I literally jam-packed all of it so you can watch the complete strategy. Then in addition to that, when you jump into the 5-day challenge group, feel free to watch a full week's worth of content where I go into additional detail of day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. So if you like that style, feel free to go inside the 5-day challenge group and watch those videos. And we have about 3-4 months worth of videos there, streaming and Q&As. And some of those calls are like, man, hour and a half, 2 hours. So a lot of information. But I'll warn you, you don't need anything more than what I've taught yesterday. Okay, so don't waste your time watching too many things and not taking enough action on the sales. And that's really what matters more is your activity in sales. And a ton of people got clients off of this. And I want you to be one of those people. And if you can get to a world where you're getting a recurring paying client right out of the gate as you launch into high level, man, you get high level for free, or maybe build even a bigger book of business and have all your operational costs paid off. And what's funny is a lot of the bigger agencies that jump into high level, they launch SaaS and they launch, some of the cool solutions, and they'll build up a baseline of revenue and use it as advertising budget so they can scale their services. So there's a lot of different plays here. But either way, hopefully today you got a few more nuggets out of this. Watch yesterday's replay, and we'll be in touch. So have a good rest of your day, everybody. Make sure you access our Facebook group where all the buzz is happening around the 5 day challenge. You get to meet other, almost 3 or 4 thousand other challengers, and we have a private group there. So if you click on this link, it'll give you the ability to sign up for a 30-day trial, and then you can request access to the Facebook group and jump in. And that access is only 30 days long, even if you go into a paid account and you get moved into our regular official community. But without any further ado, I'm looking forward to serving all of you. I'm looking forward to getting your feedback on all these freebies, the snapshots, and everything. Let me know how things go. So let's get to work and y'all set appointments and close appointments. That's the only thing that matter in business. I don't care about how fancy your funnels are and ads are and social media and all these things. The only thing that matter in business is your ability to pick up the phone, dial, or greet somebody and close the deal. If we cannot do the sales activities behind the business, we don't have a business. If we don't have revenue, we don't have a business. So don't waste your time overbuilding. But let's get to work, and I'm looking forward to serving you. I'll see you tomorrow, same time, 12 o'clock EST. That's New York time for those of you that are international. Looking forward to doing our next Q&A tomorrow. If you have more questions, we'll field it. If you have comments, we'll go through this. Our community team, myself, will all field it. But anyways, have a good rest of your day. Take care. Bye, everybody.